Session 4, here we are. Now, if this is the first session you watch in this level 2 training, go back to level 1 because each session builds on the other. I know I'm guilty of that myself sometimes. I just want to jump ahead and you're going to be lost and not understand. So be sure to watch 1, 2, and 3. All right. Finally, getting into the deeper good stuff. Thinking reports, I call this. In level 2, we talked about CBT 101. And session 3, we talked about the anorexic cycle. So all that's connected to this. So begin to take responsibility for your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So this is that diagram we'll look at here in a minute from session 2. It just looks a little different. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, or A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So we are going to deep dive into this exercise. This is probably one of the most powerful tools that I teach. Okay. And we'll show you why here at the end. So in session 2, you should remember this diagram. Okay. What we do not have control over on the left side of this line, what we do have control over on the right side of this middle black line. But they're connected. So we take an activating event, what we see, hear, taste, touch, smell, or feel, or intuitiveness. Okay. Sometimes come through intuition as well. And leads to a thought, which can be positive, negative, a feeling, and then a behavior. What we do have control over. And we went through scenarios 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, when you do thing reports, we're not going to focus on so much with our clients 1 and 3. We're going to focus on scenarios 2 and 4 that might have started positive but ended badly, or started badly and ended badly, or started negative, ended negative. Okay, 2 and 4 when we do these. Okay. Now, you and most of your clients already do this. They just don't know that they're doing it. Okay. If you've ever had a job or customer service, serve anyone, and somebody treated you poorly and you didn't immediately share what you thought, but responded in kindness and got through it. We've all had poor customer service, or have been poorly treated by customers. Okay. But when it comes to relationships, the wheels fall off. This goes sideways really, really quick. Okay. So the red here is how this might play out. Okay, so activating an event. So let's read through this. So begin to take responsibility for our thoughts, feelings, behaviors. So A stands for activating an event. What happened outside yourself that activated or triggered your thoughts? Okay. Objectively, what did you see, hear, taste, touch, or smell? Now, when you do these yourself or with your clients, it's going to be often 90, 95% of the time I heard or I saw. Okay. So I heard my partner say, "You're acting anorexic." Okay. Hear this a lot. Okay. Or you may have heard you being said something hurtful, being treated, being called a name, whatever. But for this scenario, we're gonna kind of walk through this since we're talking about addiction and anorexia, aversion, avoidance stuff. So that's the activating event. Now, the activating event is just objective. Okay. What you think and feel is going to go in these next boxes. Okay. So my thoughts is list your thoughts without judging, interpreting, or censoring them. And we just want them short statements. We want to steer away from questions. If it is a question, try to have the client answer it. So what were your immediate thoughts as if a tape recorder played them? Okay. Number one, I'm not what? So I'm not acting anorexic. I hear this, you're acting anorexic. Okay. And the one who heard this may think you are acting anorexic. This will never change. I hate you. You always do this. I do not deserve this. I am out of here. So what we want to do is try to have the client list 4 to 7 thoughts. Just 4 to 7 quick little thoughts. Okay. Okay. Now some people get confused and they put their feelings in here. Okay. What we want to do is put the feelings over here in C column. Okay. We want to, and a lot of people, as they work through this, they begin to realize feelings are feelings, thoughts are thoughts. Okay, some people don't know the difference. Feelings and behaviors. So C, now we're on to C. What feeling and behavior did you experience immediately after your thoughts? So looking at your thoughts, what feelings did you experience? So examples of feelings: mad, sad, hurt, frustrated, happy, afraid, ashamed. Okay, you can put your own in there. For this example, it could be anger. I feel angry, scared, hurt, offended, resentment, shame. Now, my behaviors was the very first thing that you did or said in response to A. Okay. In this case, I walked away and slammed the door. All right. So we have a good foundation for a thinking report. Again, we want the ones that ended badly. Scenario 2 or 4. Okay. The ones that ended badly. All right. So that's the foundation of a thinking report. Now, when we do these, we're talking about a very short amount of time. Okay. And if you've ever seen cartoons and how they make cartoons and a storyboard, we're just taking a short section, usually 60 seconds, could be 5 seconds, just a very photo shot. Okay. When they make a movie, it's just one photo shot after another. Okay. Okay, we're just focusing on one little photo shot. Okay, that's a thinking report. I heard somebody say something, I respond, I think, I feel, and I respond. That's it. That's one thing. We're not doing this whole, it's not a whole movie. Okay, it's just a photo shot. All right, next. So this is what I call ABC train wreck. Okay, I heard my partner say you're acting anorexic, had all these negative thoughts, led to negative feelings. I slammed the door and walked away. Train wreck. We are going to begin to, how do we learn to avoid the train wreck? Okay. And generally, it's going to be, your clients do this, it's going to be with their personal lives. Okay. Professionally, their jobs, they're not having all these train wrecks. Okay. But in their personal lives, they are. Because nothing will bring out the worst in you than your relationship with your significant other. Okay. And that's the part of ourselves we need to work on. So to understand D and E column, we have to understand anorexic thinking, which again, you should have read Out of the Darkness. But we're going to review these just quickly, these 18 types of exaggerated thinking, also back in the day known as cognitive distortions. I have just customized them for our clients' purposes and use. So exaggerated thinking is making an issue bigger than it needs to be. This can lead to an argument or intentionally picking a fight to get out of doing something you don't want to do, but you make it appear unintentional and innocent. Number 2, bitterness thinking. And so by the way, when I'm going over this with my clients, I'm reading out loud and they're reading a few and we're kind of going back and forth. So generally with a couple, I'll read 3, they'll read 3 each, and we get through it pretty quick. And as we're reading them aloud, I'll say, okay, underline, mark these if you've ever done any of these or ever thought any of these, because we're going to use them for our thinking report in our D and our E column. Bitterness thinking is assuming something negative where there's no evidence to support it. You stay in your head and don't share your thoughts with others. You think you know the true intentions of those around you, which are to harm you, or usually are to harm you. Should have, could have, would have thinking. Number 3, this is when you focus on what may have happened but did not actually happen. You live life in regret. Hindsight is always 20/20. You fantasize using to relive and rewrite the past to benefit your perspective of right and wrong. A friend told me once, don't let yourself be shit upon. Number 4, judge, jury, executioner thinking. After staying in your head and becoming bitter, you role play and fantasize about getting even with those who disrespected you or you believe disrespected you. Excuse me. Absolute thinking includes all absolutes. You always do that. You never do that. Every time you do that. Okay. Justification, you justify your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. My behaviors do not hurt others. They only affect me. I've worked hard today, so I deserve this. This will be the last time. Okay. Very much addict thinking as well. Comparison thinking. My partner doesn't say those nice things to me. My partner does not look as good as she or he does. My partner does not for me like he or she does. My marriage is not as good as theirs. Number 8, magnification thinking is thinking your good qualities are better than they actually are and thinking the defects of others are worse than they actually are. Minimization is thinking your defects are less than they actually are and thinking the strengths of others as less than they are. Okay, so again, magnifying your good qualities and magnifying the defects of others. Minimizing is thinking your defects are less, but other people's strengths are less. Okay. Number 10, awfulizing is only thinking about the worst, not considering the possibility that worse may not happen. Feelings over facts is when you make choices based on how you feel, not on factual information or intellectual reasoning. Remember, feelings are real, but not always reality. And facts or feelings is when you make choices based on your perception of the facts, discounting the feelings of others. Okay, labeling others gives you the sense of feeling better about yourself. However, you treat others as objects, not as people. You are stupid, you're a borderline, you're a sex addict, you're codependent, you're a schizoid, you're depressed. Okay. Accusation and blame assumes the other person is the cause for your problems and unmet expectations. I know what you really meant, type of stuff. Okay. Entitlement thinking is thinking and believing that society and others owe you and you should have things you may not have worked for. I see a typo. It's supposed to be self-righteous. Prideful thinking, number 16. I am special and deserve to be around others who are special and or have power and influence. I'm unique like no one else and deserve unique treatment. Number 17, criminal thinking includes thoughts that are antisocial in nature. Rules apply to others, not me. It's only wrong if I get caught. They have so much they will not miss it. Victim thinking is when you believe circumstances and others are against you, such as society, family, friends, work, etc. No matter how hard you try, you believe there's no way to make lemonade out of the lemons life has given you. All right, so those are the 18 types of anorexic thinking, traditionally known as cognitive or thought distortions. All right, so back to our thinking report. Now, so we got A, B, and C. Now for D, what we're going to do, now we got the background of anorexic thoughts we're going to use. We're going to now dispute. How would you dispute the immediate problem thoughts listed in B? To be new, healthier, or corrective. So let's see here. So questions when we get to the D column are this. So is that thought true? Is it 100% true? Okay. By the way, if you've not read Byron Katie, Loving What Is, highly recommend it. Write that down. Byron Katie. She is amazing. Loving What Is. How can I give them the benefit of the doubt? So when we're in D, we want to start asking. It's got to pass these questions, these tests. Okay. What is their perspective? Do I want to be right or do I want to be free? Okay. What would happen if I changed that thought? Turn it around from he, she, they to I, me, my. Okay, so what do I mean? So what we're going to do is dispute each thought. Now, some of these are not disputable, but for my example, I think I can dispute all of my thoughts here, okay? So how would you dispute the immediate problem thoughts listed in B? So number one is going to match one above and below. So I am not what? So again, I'm believing I'm not being anorexic. So we're going to go back to that anorexic thinking sheet and we're going to find what give that thought a label. Okay. And let's say I'm going to call it justification or labeling. Okay. Some of these might have more than one. There's no right or wrong answer. You let the client decide. And we're going to challenge those with these questions. Okay. Is that true? Is it 100% true? How could I give them the benefit of the doubt? And I'm going to say I can challenge that. It is challengeable. I'm going to label it justification or labeling, and I'm going to say I might be acting anorexic. Okay. And again, we're just trying, it's also known in marketing as a pattern interrupt. How do I interrupt my thinking so I don't have the train wreck? Okay. Next is you are acting anorexic. I'm going to challenge that. Is it through the questions? I'm going to give it accusation of blame, give it a label. My partner is not the anorexic. Okay. Number three, this will never change. I realize that's one of those absolute ones. Always, never, must, right? Things are changing for the better. Number four, I hate you. I'm going to challenge that. I'm just putting my feelings over the facts of the moment. I really do not hate her. I love her. Number five, you always do that. I'm going to, again, absolute. My partner does not always do this. She loves me. Okay. I do not deserve this. I'm going to say that's entitlement or victim. She does not deserve this either. And number seven, I am out of here. Seven, calling that exaggerated thinking, justification. You could even call that feelings over facts again. And realizing, you know what, instead of running here, I'm going to make a phone call, call a timeout type of thing. Okay. So now we challenge all those thoughts. And sometimes not all of them are challengeable. Maybe it's a factual thought. You know, it's 2:00 in the afternoon. That's just a factual thought. Okay. Some of these are not challengeable, but with your clients, try to, if you have 7 thoughts, try at least challenge 4 of them. Okay. Which moves us to E, or number 5. So my new emotions, now I got healthier thoughts. What could be some new emotions? What would be the new feeling based on the new thoughts? So in my case, the feelings, I'm maybe scared, frustrated, disappointed in myself, rather than above earlier was angry, hurt, offended, resentment, and a lot of shame. Okay. It doesn't mean it's happy and joyful and forgiving. It's just a lesser of what was above. Okay. I'm hopefully more honest. Hey, I'm just scared. And then the new behavior, what would you say or do differently? I'd call for a timeout, make a phone call, and return to process the incident. Okay. All right. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or A, B, C, D, and E. D and E, avoiding the train wreck. All right, we have a whole list of these. These are just examples. So to get to number 6, now we're going to go number 6, core beliefs and vows. Okay, we've done A, B, C, D, and E. Now we're going to go over here. So core beliefs look like this. Blank keeps me blank. Okay, meaning anger keeps me safe. Okay. Or my guardedness keeps me from getting hurt. Okay. Number 3, anger keeps me safe. Anger keeps me healthy from getting hurt, etc. Due to this label, I will act and play the part. Everyone needs me to be strong. Okay. Faith is what? Family is what? Okay. It could be positive or negative. Feelings are a sign of weakness. God cannot be trusted. God is a blank. I am a blank. I'm a loser. I'm alone. I'm labeled as, therefore, that is who I am. I am loved and accepted when I do things right or do them well. I am not enough. I am not lovable. I do not need anyone. I have done blank, therefore, that is who I am. Let's see. I have no voice. I have to be perfect to be loved. I will not be blank again or ever again. Okay. There's many of these. This is only like half our list, maybe. I will not be abused again. I will not be hurt again. So what you're doing with your clients is you're taking a moment and letting them read through this list, this handout. Okay. And you're going to have them find the belief that is supporting the thoughts in their B column and to score it between 1 and 10. So as they're reading through this, have them mark the ones that feel really strong to them. They might have 5. They might at the end of the list come up with 5, 7, 8. And then we're just going to pick one that fits this thinking report and the incident. Okay. I will not be mistreated again. I will not be shamed again. I will not be taken advantage of again. I will not be victimized again. I am flawed and I'm lovable. If it is to be, is up to me. Intimacy is. It's better to live blank than feel blank. It's better to be disappointed than feel disappointed. I love. Love is dangerous. Love is painful. Love is sex. Sex is love. Marriage is, men are, women are. I mean, it goes on and on and on. My father and mother is or was. Secrets keep me safe. My wife, husband cannot be trusted. My wife or husband is blank. No one cares. No one listens. No one will love me if they knew the things I thought or have done. People cannot be trusted. Real men, women do everything on their own. Real men, women do not show their feelings. Religion is. Remaining silent, even though I'm hurting, shows my maturity. Sex is love. We did that one. Love is sex. You could flip it. Showing my anger keeps people away. The more people know about me, the more they will use against me. Vulnerability is weakness. So these are just examples. Okay, so they're reading that. You're giving them the time to read that. And for me, in this thinking report, and the one I did here, my old belief is women hurt men. Okay. My wife is a woman. So that's the old belief. And then we're going to challenge it like we did with those D column, kind of the same thing. How do I challenge it? Is that 100% true? Is it always true? How do I give them the benefit of the doubt? Okay. And so my old belief is women hurt men. My new belief is my wife is a woman. I'm acknowledging that. However, she is trying to help me. Okay, she is trying to help me. See the difference? Okay, so we have an old core belief and now a new core belief. Old one, again, it's going to feel like a 9 or 10 to me as a client. Okay, my new belief, I don't fully embrace that one yet. I'm working my way there. Okay. All right, so we're almost at the end of this. So 7, now we're going to look at vows, old vows, new vows, or agreements. Okay. And we have a whole handout, a list of this. Now, what you're going to notice between the vow list and the belief list is they're pretty much identical. Okay. The only difference is you'll notice the theme of always, never, or must. So blank will always keep me blank. Anger will always keep me safe. Anger always keeps me protected. Do this label, I must act the part. Okay, everyone needs me to be strong all the time. Faith is always, family always. Feelings are always a sign of weakness. God can never be trusted. God will always disappoint me. God will always be a dictator in my life. I will always be a loser. I will always be alone. I am labeled as codependent, addict, anorexic. Therefore, that is who I will always be. I am only loved and accepted when I do things right and do them well. I will never be good enough. I will never be lovable. I'll never need anyone. have done blank, therefore that is who I am. I will always be. I will never have a voice. So again, themes of never, 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 never. These is exact same list. Well, now we're just up in the ante. It's now a vow or agreement. Okay. So 7 is going to connect to number 6. The vow is going to connect to the old belief, generally speaking. Okay, and now again, we're just summarizing this here, the B column. Okay. What I call the core belief in the bow, it's kind of like the rudder of the ship, and the rudder is under the water. You don't see it, but it determines the vessel and the direction it's going to go. Okay, again, more subconscious. Thoughts are sometimes subconscious, but the core beliefs in the vows are really unconscious. Okay. So old vow, women will always hurt men or me. My wife is most often trying to help me. The new vow, again, the old vow is going to feel really strong to your client. That's a 9 or 10. The new vow, that's when I want to get toward. That's where I'm working my way. Okay. Could be men will always hurt me. God will always hurt me. Whatever. Okay. It's different for everybody, but generally the same. Now, a little bit of my story here. This, for me, took me years to figure out in my story, my recovery. I grew up on a farm in the Midwest of the Dakotas, South Dakota to be specific, farm kid. And about age 7, my parents divorced. I have a specific memory of walking from the house to the barn, big red milk barn. It's about 100 yards apart, and I'm walking in this memory between the house and the barn, and my dad's walking from the barn to the house. And there was, back in the day, telephone lines between the pickup phone dial and they had been talking, and I didn't know that was going on, but my dad's walking back to the house very upset, saying, mom's leaving, mom's divorcing me. Okay, and the next part of my memory, we're in a small 2-story farmhouse, narrow stairway going up. And my dad's sitting kind of on the plateau before a couple more steps up. And my mom's going up and down the stairs, packing up us kids. I'm in the middle of 3, and packing up the van and all our belongings to leave. And my mom's yelling, screaming, swearing at my dad. Okay, little boy Hart standing at the bottom of the step watching all this. And little boy Hart made several vows that day. I'll never let a woman treat me that way. I'll never be disrespected. I'll never let my feelings be shown. Feelings are always weakness. I'll never be weak like my dad. Okay, all these things. Fast forward, it's about close to 15 years married, got kids of my own, and my marriage is a train wreck. So one night, I'm physically violent with my wife. Okay. Took the night off, got help next morning, scheduled my own intensive. Okay. Now, when you're doing these thinker reports and your client may not have specific memories like that when they're doing that, that's just an example of the layers of this. It could take them time to get there, to figure this out. But the report process, thinker report process is going to be really, really helpful. Okay, to get to beliefs and vows. And a lot of people out there in the social media world, the influencer world, are talking about this stuff. Okay, but they don't tell you really specifically how to get there. Where do my beliefs come from? What vows did I make that are keeping me in prison? Okay. So practice in real time. So with your clients, you're going to give them for each session like 2 to 3 of these to bring back with them completed for their next session. Okay. And sometimes we don't always get to the core belief or the vow piece until they brought me a couple thinker reports, A, B, C, D, and E. Okay. So that's the green. A, B, C, D, and E. But the red is the train wreck, ABC, train wreck, ABC, train wreck. Okay. And most are triggered. This is going to show up with their partner, with their significant other. Now, with a professional life, they're doing A, B, D, E all day long. They're not having these train wrecks. Okay. So the goal is once they have practiced this enough, they begin to do this in real time and stop having train wrecks with their partners. Okay. Makes sense? All right. All right, where are we at? Okay, the process can be overwhelming to learn. However, you've had a job, like I've been saying, you already do this. Most do not say the first thing that comes out of their mouth. Serving others in public, we filter our thoughts. Why is this so difficult with my personal life? Because it is personal and it hurts more. It shows us where we need to work on, what we need to work on, and we are grateful for what we need to work on. This is all good. This is good stuff. So let's put it together. Why is this tool so powerful? So the leaves on this tree here represent the behaviors. Okay. The small branches represent the feelings. The large branches represent the thoughts. The trunk is my core beliefs. And the roots or the vowels are my agreements. So hopefully you can see where I'm going with this. Okay, thousands of leaves on this tree. Small branches, maybe hundreds. Large branches, maybe tens to 100. Trunk, maybe 5 to 10 core beliefs. Okay. And the roots, again, maybe 5 to 10 vows or agreements. So what happens is if I have negative feelings, the negative behaviors up here, negative feelings, negative thoughts, negative core beliefs, it all started with my root of the tree. Okay, so a lot of therapy is all about leaf work or branch work, maybe some big branch work. Rarely do we get to the core belief vow work. So I know this takes time, but it's well worth it. Okay. I don't have to deal with tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of leaves because I got other trees here in my life and gardens, traumas that have happened to me. Okay, but if I could just dig deep, there's generally only 5 to 10 core beliefs causing me all this havoc in my life, or 5 to 10 vows. So if I can change my vow, make it a positive, it changes the trunk, changes the branches, the large, the small, and then eventually the leaves. And now everything is positive. Okay. Everything is then therefore changed. This is why it's such a powerful tool. Okay. We don't have to deal with thousands of these little things. We can just deal with 5 to 10 of the core beliefs or vows. Okay. And what I love about this tool too, as well, is couples begin to learn together. So they can have a argument and you say, okay, I want you to go both do a thing report on that argument. What did you hear him say? What did you hear her say? Okay, I want you to take it through the thoughts, the feelings, behavior, and the train wreck. Okay, what you did that you're a little embarrassed about. If you could do it better, how would you do it better? And then the D and the E. And then eventually, what is his core belief? What is her core belief? Okay, what was his vow? What was her vow or agreement? And you have them bring this back. Okay, and they're sharing this, reading this out loud. So for a lot of women, they're going to have things like women, what is the belief? So women, or for the men, women hurt me or men. And hers might be, I do not have a voice. I'm not enough. So her old vow might be, or his is women always hurt me. I will never have a voice. I will never be enough. And you have them speak this to each other. Each read that and then respond. So he'll say, women hurt me. She'll respond, I'll never have a voice. Women always hurt me. She'll respond, I will never have a voice. I do not have a voice. I will never have a voice. Okay, so the men, women hurt me, women always hurt me. I do not have a voice. I will never have a voice. Okay, and I have two goats here because if you've seen Brother Bear, the old children's movie, and there's two goats yelling across a canyon, you shut up, you shut up, and they don't realize the echo bouncing back is just an echo. And they think they're arguing with somebody. Oh, you shut up. And at the end of the movie, they're both laying there, sunsetting, and they're just exhausted. That's a lot of the couples we work with, just constantly, you shut up. No, you shut up. And what they're fighting, they don't even realize it, is their core beliefs and vows a little boy, a little girl made when they were very young. Okay, they don't even realize it. And both have what the other need. Both are the solution to their own problem. Again, both are just a mirror reflecting each other. Okay. This creates the egoic separation, the battling, the banter. Okay. This is so powerful. So how do we learn together? So we're going to start. So what is the new core belief? My wife is trying to help me. She's going to realize I do have a voice. I am enough. My wife is most often trying to help me. The vow, I will always have a voice. I will always be enough. So the men, my wife's trying to help me. You know, she loves me. My wife is most often helping me. She loves me. I do have a voice. I am enough. I will always have a voice. I will always be enough. Creating connection, the new banter. Okay. So practice on old situations, what I was saying earlier. So you have to have them practice on old train wrecks before they'll be able to do this in real time. Okay. Again, you're going to have them work on scenarios 2 and 4 most often. It may have started positive or negative, but it ended negative. See that? You don't have to have them process 1 and 3s. Okay. They generally will do those at work, you know, or professional life or someone outside the relationship with their spouse or partner. Okay. Nothing pushes your buttons more like your spouse or your partner. Okay. And for that, we're grateful because it's teaching us the next level, a new devil of what still needs to be worked on within us. Okay. All right. So that wraps up thank you reports. Okay. This one is one you probably want to watch again because it's a lot. It takes practice to get this and then to teach it. All right. Keep up the good work. You guys are doing amazing. I'm proud of you. The amount of effort you're putting into this. And we'll see you in the next session.